Coming up on the Code Bet Daily, it is a rocking show full of AFL Finals chat, bit of Gary Ayres Medal, which apparently is the best AFL Finals player. It's only been going for 7 years and somehow Dustin Martin has won 3 of them. Stats guy, what are you looking at?
Bit of value in the FIBA World Cup quarterfinals we're up to, and an Aussie, I'm going to say it, the Demon, he's going to tear it up in the tennis.
Stats Guy is very confident. No gym today, just me and Stats Guy. We've got you all covered here on the Code Bet Daily. Check it out because it's coming your way right now. Welcome to the Code Bet Daily. It is episode 187 for Monday, September the 4th. Spring is here, Stats Guy. Corporate gym has taken a day off, 1 to get over the meat sweats, and 2, I think he's just frolicking around in the sun at the moment because Carlton are playing finals this week.
Yep. I'm worried about him. He's going to have a big week in the lead up to the finals for Carlton. And I've had a pretty sad weekend with Chelsea. You've just woken up and seen that Arsenal have absolutely thumped Man U, so you'll be happy.
It wasn't you look at the score where you're like, Arsenal thumped Man U. You watch the game, it's like... True. Oh, that was stressful. Arsenal absolutely should have won that game and should have put it to bed earlier. United fans, cry me a river. Garnacho was offside. If Kai Havertz didn't it's just a whiff. If he didn't whiff that one in the 12th minute, Arsenal are up early. That goal from Odegaard, just chef's kiss. It was just beautiful to watch. We had a good weekend on the EPL picks. Check out social media later because there'll be Stats Guy's 2 best bets. They lobbed in between a referee rant of mine, which again came about this week, and also from Friday. 5 for 5 on the match game picks from myself, as well as the James Ward-Prowse assist on Friday night for West Ham against Luton. So if you're not listening to us already here on the Code Bet Daily, go check it out because, well, we're covering everything at the moment. What is there? AFL, NRL, EPL. There's AFLW. We also nailed the AFLW Rate My Multi last week. The Swans are on the board.
I know.
First win in history. I watched that game. Pulsating game. And can we also say the AFLW umpiring, way better than the AFL men's umpiring.
You reckon?
Maybe they should take a leaf out of the book. Yeah, they put the whistle away. It's, no soft free kicks. Ones that are there are paid. And, I actually enjoyed watching the AFLW. All right, Stats Go. We are here for some player props, game picks, best bets. I don't think we have a Rate My Multi today. I can put one together for my game picks. What are you looking at today?
A bit of everything. So AFL Finals award, as you're going to mention first up, I think. And then FIBA World Cup, we're into the quarterfinals. I'm going to do a game pick from that. And then a bit of US Open tennis because that's still on as well.
I am footy finals. I am footy all week, every week. I've got so much loaded this week. I am that pumped. I'm up and about. Look at me. I'm in my new Swans hat. I'm in my Arsenal shirt.
Is that what it was?
It's a new Swans hat there for people who are looking on the thing. Yep. Thanks to my girlfriend's mother. She gave me an AFL store gift voucher for my birthday. I got a new hat. Hey, he's got a new hat. All right, Stats Guy, let's rip into some player props.
Player props.
God, I love Gerald.
Even when he's away, he's still with us.
He's just like haunting us from behind us. Anyway, all right, so I'm looking at the Gary Ayres Award, which is the best player in the AFL Finals. So it's voted on by the coaches, which means it's probably the most prestigious finals award you can win other than the Norm Smith. So it's a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, as we all know. And I learnt this morning that there is a grand final loading that started last year. So you get 1.5 points in the grand final. So if you get a perfect 10 in the grand final, you will get 15 points. So whatever point you get, add a half point on board. So that's why Dangerfield won it last year. He got a perfect 10 in the finals, in the preliminary final. And then he got 12 votes out of the grand final, which Isaac Smith obviously got the perfect 10. But anyway, so you have a look at this and usually you'd go, teams that play 3 or 4 games, you're probably going to need to win it. You can also make a case for players to play 2 games, like Dangerfield played 3 games last year. The year before it was Jack McRae, 3 games. So just having a look around, I've got a couple of picks here just to throw them out there, and yours is the same as well, so we can just discuss it as a whole one player pick. So for mine, the first look for me was Petrarca. For the Ds. He's $10 to win this award. He looks set for a big final series, and my thinking is that the Ds are going to be playing 3 finals. I think they're going to win this weekend, and then preliminary final and grand final, obviously. But I think if they get knocked out this week, there is every chance. I'll lose to Collingwood on Thursday. There's sort of every chance that they go to a prelim and sort of potentially lose to Brisbane there. On the other side, I'm absolutely convinced Port Adelaide will play 3 finals. I think they'll play the first 3 weeks of the finals. I think they lose this weekend, and then win the semi and then lose in a prelim at the MCG. For me, that means Zach Butters. He has 3 chances to get a lot of votes here. He just looks the perfect finals player. He loves the inside contest, but he can explode away from it and kick a couple of goals and things like that the coaches will notice there, because it's not going to be the bloke that gets 47 touches that the umpires notice. You're sort of looking for impact players, and Zach Butters is $17. Max Gawn, $26. He's the only sort of dominant ruckman in this final series. I know Rowan Marshall's there, but I think St Kilda may get knocked out this week, so not really relying on him there. Given, you look at the other finals teams that are going to come up against, it's probably Brisbane that only have the legitimate ruckman. I know you look at, what Brisbane have got, Oscar McInerney.
Yeah. He's good, but not around the ground compared to Gawn.
No. Scott Lysette for Port, no. Who's the other top four team? I've just got Collingwood, Darcy Cameron and Dan McStay right, and Max.
They're out of form.
And what's his name? The American dude, Mason Cox. Like, no, thank you. The Swans have got Hickey. No, he's not going to match it. Like, he can probably match Gawn around the grounds running around, but he can't match him in ruck contests.
I don't mind that.
I love Briggsy for GWS, but again, no. And then I've completely missed Carlton, like Tom De Koning and what's that, like Pitnet. I just don't think that they're going to dominate like Max. $26 for Max Gawn to win it. Just for those reasons alone.
It's a sneaky one, yeah.
He has 18 possessions, kicks 4 or 5 goals throughout the finals, like averages 8 in a game and averages 40 hitouts, sort of stuff that you know. And then if the Swans and Carlton play 3 games in the finals, it's 2 players. It's Errol Goulden and it's Patrick Cripps, because, we've seen throughout, like, obviously Cripps hasn't been as good this year as he was last year, but first final series he could explode.
I feel like he'll step up.
And Errol's been the Swans' best player all year. He could get like 8 if the Swans play 3 games, and then they get you to 26 votes and you're sort of trying to hold on. Same for Cripps. So I don't mind that whatsoever. And you're also looking at someone who I did sort of think about, but I'm just like, in coaches' votes, I'm not sure that your player's going to sort of get because it's like, he played well again. It's going to be noticeable, if you know what I mean.
Maybe not as noticeable, but he's been pretty awesome the last month. I'm looking at Lachie Neale for the best finals player. $11, I still think it's pretty good value. I think it's like the second favourite. As you mentioned the last couple of weeks, Alex, you reckon Brisbane can get 2 home finals all the way to the grand final?
Yeah.
I think that's a great thing to think about in this award. You mentioned the Ds. You think they can go on the way? So Trac is a great bet, because they're going to be in those big games. And if you're winning games, you're going to get more votes. That's how it usually works. So Lachie Neale has been absolutely awesome. With no Ashcroft in the side as well, obviously did his ACL. I think in the second half of the year, since Ashcroft's gone, Neale's taken his game to another level.
And Dunkley's very unassuming for them as well. Like, he'll have 15 contested touches, but you won't know. It's probably like
he's not your flashy
a Hugh McCluggage or a Zach Bailey that's going to steal votes from him.
Yeah. But so he's sort of one of those players that gets votes in these sort of awards as well. Your midfielders, he's going to get around that 25 to 30 touches, dominate the clearances, and he's tackling pressure and things like that. So I don't mind him at $11 just because, if they're going to go all the way, it'll be out of like Petrarca, your big names. It's usually going to be your big names like Dusty and Danger have won this in the past. So, we don't mind Lachie Neale there at $11.
Okay, I don't mind. I was just going to look up who's actually won it over the years, because I know obviously Dangerfield won it last year. Listen, all right, here's the list since it started in 2016. 2016, Josh Kennedy, Dustin Martin, Steele Sidebottom, Dustin Martin, Jack McRae, Dangerfield. All right, we have a trend.
The Dusty Award,
It's a midfielder's award. That's awesome. It's a midfielder's award. Awesome, great. But it's big game players. Like 2016, Josh Kennedy was the Swans' best player throughout that final series.
I'm surprised they only started it in 2016. I thought it was
probably something that they hadn't thought about. And then obviously Dusty went psycho in the 3 years they won the flags. Steel side bottom in 2018. Yeah. Makes sense. He was really good throughout the finals when Collingwood lost that grand final. McRae for the Bulldogs got a lot of votes when they lost, and obviously Danger last year. He only got votes in 2 games, but it was enough. Like, I think Jack Crisp actually was the runner-up 6 votes behind, which was wild to me. And I think Luke Parker was next on that list. All right, anyway, enough waffling of that. Gerald, match your game picks, please.
What's your best match or game pick?
It's just seamless. I love it.
Yeah.
God bless this. All right, so having a look at all 8 games in the AFL Finals, again, just a bit of the AFL and NRL Finals, Could be a bit of a generic chat and just sort of, obviously I missed the show you guys did last week with the AFL chat. Also wanted to say you guys were wrong. Port Adelaide smashed Brisbane in round 1, not round 3. I was listening to it, yelling at you guys. Anyway,
same.
So this is just a quick, looking at it, thinking about it without sort of delving too deep into it. So let's start with the AFL. I think Melbourne beat Collingwood.
Yep.
I'm going to change my mind probably 15, 16 times this week between Swans and Carlton.
That's a hard game. Yeah.
At the moment, I'm leaning to the Swans, but in an hour, I'll be like, Carlton will win that. Talking to people and sort of looking at it, like the Swans, they lost that game to Melbourne. If they kick straight, they probably win. Carlton were terrible, and everyone's like, but the result didn't matter. It's like, Yeah, but the week before they were really bad
Yeah.
against Gold
No,
Coast.
it's bad
and
taking
just
into
won.
bad momentum like that.
It's like the momentum sort of, if you're watching on the podcast, you see me, I'm going down like a roller coaster. They're going down. So I don't know. And the Swans, who knows what they're going to do. The Swans play, I think, of the two teams, if the Swans play their best, they are better. And also finals experience will mean a lot as well. Like, it's everyone says, that finals like atmosphere. It's so much different. And we'll see that.
Yeah, only one of the Blues players have actually played finals. So
I think it's Ed. I think Carlton have two games total finals experience, and this one's have like 153. I think I saw that. We'll dig that out properly later this week. About right. GWS beat St Kilda on Saturday afternoon at the MCG, and I think Brisbane Lions beat Port Adelaide. I think everyone's sort of on a general consensus about Brisbane. But to the NRL, Melbourne Storm play Brisbane once again up at Suncorp. Why would it change again this week? Melbourne Storm will win. I think the Panthers beat the Warriors at home. The Warriors will get a home final in their second week. I think the Roosters can knock off the Sharks. I know the Sharks won yesterday afternoon, but the Roosters got the job done against South Sydney on Friday night.
Yeah, that was a massive win.
Yeah, big win to get into the finals. Suck it, Souths. Enjoy doing nothing in September. Again, that's like Carlton Collingwood in the NRL. Big rivalry.
Yes.
And the Newcastle Knights will smoke Canberra. They're like Carlton. Their momentum is just going downwards.
Yeah, they've dropped off.
If you multi all 8 of those, just again, I wouldn't be taking it, but the multi of all 8 is 37.55. As I said, I'm going to flip-flop on the Swans game a lot. Of the ones that I'm super confident on, GWS, Brisbane Lions, Melbourne Storm, Penrith Panthers, Newcastle Knights, $8.52. Stats guy, rate that multi. Ooh. Melbourne Storm are outsiders somehow. I don't know why.
Is that because it's in Suncorp and Brisbane will get a lot of their players back next week?
Yeah, but Melbourne are going to get a lot of their players back too, and they've lost 2 games at Suncorp in the last decade.
Yeah, well, I'll give it a 7.5. That's the only one I'm worried about is the Storm, but the other ones.
Yeah. As Stats Guy dies, he has COVID. Stay away from him. All right, Stats Guy, what is your game pick?
All right, we're having a look at the FIBA World Cup. While Jim's away, got to get a bit of basketball out there. It's the FIBA World Cup quarterfinals now we're up to. So having a look at Lithuania taking on Serbia. Both teams have been really strong, but Lithuania just defeated the powerhouse of US overnight. They beat the USA. The USA have only lost.
Wait, the USA out?
No, so it's a weird. It's not like the soccer. You can lose 1 or 2 games.
So it's a double elimination, is it?
Yeah, you pretty much have to lose 2 to be out. So they've only lost 1. So they've still qualified for the next round. But Lithuania haven't lost, and they've been unbelievable. Okay. They've only got one NBA player who's an absolute jet in Jonas Valanciunas, but they play that sort of Euro ball, pass, quick, and the opposition's eyes are darting everywhere. They scored 110 points on the USA last night.
Seems a lot.
Which is heaps. Like usually these shorter games, they're only 40 minutes, usually get around the 80 to 90 mark, but they've scored over 93 points in every game, which has been unbelievable. As I mentioned, their star player, the big man, Jonas Valanciunas, is averaging 15 points, 11 rebounds, and a few blocks. He's been absolutely awesome. But they've just got all these guys that play in Europe that they go, I haven't really heard of him, but they just play well as a team, whereas you've got USA and things like that. They just come together for a few months, then they hardly know each other. So they're just playing really well as a team. Serbia as well, I think they only lost 1 game to Italy, who's a pretty average side, but then they've looked really dominant. But I think Lithuania's passing and the fact that they can score so big every game, they're going to get around that 90 to 100 point mark again, which I don't see Serbia getting. So Lithuania head-to-head's $1.90. The odds are gone, look, we don't really know. We'll just chuck them both at $1.90. The line, I think, is like 0.5 or like 1 or something because everyone's like, I don't know really. But I do think, Lithuania have that depth and they've shown, especially last night against the USA, that they can get a win. So that's all the quarterfinals start tomorrow night. So I'm sure James will have a crack at that in our show tomorrow. But just an early look at that.
Okay, don't mind it whatsoever. All right, Gerald, on to the best bets.
It's best bets. It's best bets. It's time for all the best bets.
All right, our friends at Ladbrokes have AFL stage of elimination markets. Ooh. So there's a bunch of funky markets coming up, and basically that's going to give me content all week here on the show, which, sometimes we struggle on Monday or Tuesdays. AFL stage of elimination for Port Adelaide. As I said earlier, preliminary final, even money available. I think it's pretty simple because I think they lose this weekend to Brisbane, and that's, thanks Captain Obvious, but then they beat St Kilda or GWS at home. They smashed GWS no less than a month ago at home. And St Kilda, I just don't think they'll be able to handle Port Adelaide with the 50,000 people at the Adelaide Oval going
they're crazy
absolutely bananas. And Port at their best is just simply better than St Kilda, as we saw earlier in the year at Marvel Stadium.
Yep.
And then they run headfirst into Collingwood or the D's at the MCG. What have Port Adelaide struggled to do this year, Stats Guy? Win at the MCG.
Win the MCG. Okay.
Collingwood smashed them by 70 points early this season.
Which is a worry at finals.
As I stand by, it is the best half of football I've seen this year. Unfortunately for Collingwood, it was in round 2, so good luck getting that back up. GWS Giants, I'm going to look at a couple teams here. GWS Giants, semi-final, $2.50. As stated, I think they win this weekend, and then they run headfirst into Port next week and get belted.
Yeah. $2.50. That's pretty good, actually.
Well, you're backing them to win and then obviously lose again the next week. So it's got that roll in. And here's the big one. Collingwood, straight sets, semi-final elimination at $4.50. Come at me, Pies fans.
That would cause a ruckus against
They have lost 3 of their last 5 coming into finals. Oh, but we beat Essendon, Alex. I could have beaten Essendon. It was the worst game of football I've seen this year.
I was there.
Essendon were just like, oh yeah, hi, we're here. If there was a good team in that game and they brought pressure to Collingwood, they would have been beaten. Simple as that. They beat a team that just didn't care and didn't try. It was frankly embarrassing. Yeah. And then you're also going, oh, but Alex, we get, Darcy Moore, Murphy, and Nick Dacos, not Josh, sorry, Nick Dacos back. But you're expecting them to be elite and at their best straight away. Murphy has been so injured all year, the poor bugger. Hamstring
He's injured
and back
every part of his body,
And he's got concussion issues throughout the season as well. Then Darcy Moore, you're expecting him to come straight back from a hamstring and be right to go.
Yeah.
And he's got to run around chasing this D's forward line. Good luck. And Dacos is coming off a fractured kneecap. Like, I saw him running yesterday. There is no way known he's playing next week. They'll try and play him.
He is, but it's a bit of a risk.
He's not playing this Thursday. I don't even reckon they'd risk him next weekend because it's like, what's the worth in it? Because if I'm an opposition player and Nick Dacos is lining up, I'm clattering him at every opportunity. I accidentally tripped and fell onto his knee. You are. It's a final. Yeah.
They'll be all over him.
Yeah. You exploit a weakness. It's just game tactics. And you're taking on a kid. I'm sorry, he's the best player in the AFL, and you're playing AFL football. I don't care if you're a kid. If you're getting the football, you are getting smashed in finals. As said, because Collingwood, I think Melbourne can beat them. They beat them earlier this year, as we saw when Collingwood were basically at full strength. I know the flu sort of ran through them that week, and then you come into that game off a loss. This is if they lose, of course. You're going to run into Sydney or Carlton. Carlton beat them up earlier this year, and everyone's like, Sydney aren't going that great. Swans have won 4 of the last 5 against Collingwood. I wouldn't want to run into them as well. It's weird that, it says Collingwood won that game, Collingwood won that game by 28, 29 points earlier this year, but there was 3 goals in the last 5 minutes, and the Swans actually led it 3/4 time.
Yeah, that was it. I remember that game, actually,
And the Swans did not play well. They, again, didn't kick straight. If they did, they probably win that game. So I know a lot of people just think about that result, and obviously Swans fans will remember it, and people who actually pay attention to the football will have seen that. So $4.50 for Collingwood straight sets. I'll have a little something on it.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. We'll have to clip that one up and get some Pie supporters commenting on the TikTok.
If they lose this weekend, let's get it out there.
Yeah, nice. I really like that GWS semi-final one because if you think they're going to win, then they surely can't beat Port Adelaide.
Well, given what happened last week, no way.
Yeah.
What's your best bet, Stats Guy?
Yeah, I'm going to have a look at the US Open tennis. We're into the round of 16 now. Having a look at an Aussie, De Minaur, who's in career best form. He's up to 12th in the world, which is his highest ranking of his career. He's taking on the big sook, Daniil Medvedev. He was having a sook the other day. I did feel for him a little bit.
I don't feel for him. He's a jerk.
There was a guy just yelling out the whole match, even while he was trying to serve and things like that. But it was pretty funny because he was getting... he wasn't too happy. Medvedev, they've played each other 6 times, De Minaur and Medvedev. Medvedev leads this 4-2, but the Demon has won the past 2 meetings. And one of these was last month in Toronto on another hardcourt tournament. So I don't mind Demon as a big underdog bet in this one. Both are looking really strong in the tournament so far. Only lost 1 set. Medvedev, did lose the plot a little bit. So I'm sort of banking on him not, going well. He'll probably start really well, and then he might lose the plot again. I think that could happen. Demon's just looked really awesome. He's got speed. He doesn't let Medvedev get settled. I watched a few of the highlights when they played last time. It was just Medvedev likes to make people run around, but De Minaur doesn't mind that. That's his game. He loves to run around. He's got the speed across the court, and he's going to frustrate Medvedev in this one. So I know we don't like the plus 5.5, I'm going to go. The line bets in the tennis, but plus 5.5 I think is really good at $1.80. But then even De Minaur head-to-head at $3.10. He's been in the last 2 times on hard courts. I think he's about 23-8 on hard courts this year, so he's played a lot of matches on those hard courts. Don't mind the Demon, the Aussie. Get on him. $3.10, why not?
I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah. Good job there, Stats Go. All right, that is Code Bet Daily, done and dusted for your Monday, September 4th, footy finals. How good is it? Importantly, before we sign off, live stream this Thursday night, live from the CodeBet Den /studio. We will be talking absolute rubbish about Melbourne and Collingwood, coming to you literally 2 kicks of the footy away at the MCG. It is going to be absolutely wild. So if you're at home watching the footy, chuck Brian Taylor and James Brayshaw on mute and listen to us. We'll offer as much insight and as much fun as them. We'll actually be a little bit looser as well. We'll have some bets throughout there, some multis, everything else going on. Stats Guy and Jim will probably have a couple of spicy kombuchas throughout the evening as well.
Why not?
Again, I won't, because if I have a couple of spicy kombuchas, who knows what will come out of my mouth on air. That'll be great fun. I think we'll be kicking off at about 7 p.m. on Thursday night. Gerald's pumped out a really awesome graphic, so get around that. In saying that, please get right around the show. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, X, and of course Threads, because everyone uses Threads. Stats Guy.
I forgot it was an app, but anyway.
I still have it. Anyway, please get right around the show on all of your podcast apps. Shout out to the dudes I sat on with at the table on Saturday at Caulfield and made them download the CodeBet Daily.
Nice.
Subscribe on the podcast apps. Give it a like. Give it a star. Give us a review. Tell Stats Guy how handsome he looks in his New York Yankees and white hat. He actually went to New York once, everyone, so good for Stats Guy. Any questions via the socials, any bets, Stats Guy will answer them. Also, give us a 5-star rating in your DMs, and then Stats Guy will hand deliver a CodeBet sticker to you. I don't care where it is. We will send Stats Guy there. He will actually
if it's overseas, that'd be good.
He'll have to pay his own way, but he will hand deliver it to you. I think that's it. Thanks, Stats Guy.
Thank you.
Thanks to Gerald for producing once again. Shout out to Leo dealing with my messages at 6:30 this morning when I was like, hey, we need to clip up this stuff for social media, because you know what? We actually did some stuff. We got to give ourselves a pat on the back. Gerald is awesome for producing once again, getting up nice and early to do this. Shout out to Mark McAllion. He's going away and getting away from his family. Apparently, Stats Guy's dropping him off the airport. So enjoy your holiday, Mark. Have fun. No thanks to Jim, because, well, he's died in a grease fire of meat. That's what he's done. Died the way he lived,
He's eating a lot of meat yesterday.
And, of course, thanks to me for wearing my new hat today. What do we say here, Stats Guy?
Gamble responsibly.
May all your picks come in. Happy punting. We'll catch you tomorrow. CodeBet Daily. Out.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.